Hello, I'm Linda from BARLATES Blitz, and here's little Minnie having some snacks. Sorry that she's got her back to you. I probably should have planned that a little bit better. But anyway, how are we? Happy Easter to everyone that celebrates Easter. I hope everyone had a nice long weekend and you got plenty of R&R in, but also some fun workouts, because why not burn off some chocolate if you had some. I did indulge a little bit over Easter, not a huge amount. I wasn't into kind of the chocolate eggs or anything like that, but I did go out for dinner and for lunch and just had a few treats here and there. So definitely was a bit more indulgent than usual, but I kept up with my workouts and I did some extra walking. So today I wanted to not only say thank you to all my members, everyone that's joined my BARLATES membership. I've got 3 different tiers if you don't know about that, but the main tier is the BARLATES Supersize membership, where you get access to all of my YouTube paid workouts, so the workouts that are not free on YouTube. So if you want to join that, just hit the join button below or go to my channel and hit the join button, and it's $19.99 a month, and you will have access to all of my latest new workouts as well as lots from the past that I never posted free on YouTube. So you'll be like a kid in a candy store and you'll have plenty and plenty of material to work your way through. I'm trying to upload every single day so that I can get the full library up on there. Also, thank you so much for people that have been buying me coffees. I really appreciate those. If you don't know about that, it's basically just a way to show appreciation for all the free content that I put out there. There's a link at the top of all of my videos to my Buy Me a Coffee account, and you can buy me a virtual coffee or as many as you like. And please do leave comments. I know sometimes people are in a rush or they like to be anonymous, but I do love to hear from you guys how you found BARLATES, how long you've been doing it, how it's helped you, what results you've seen, things like that. I definitely love to hear all of those things, don't we, Minnie? Yes, and you love your crunchies. She loves them way too much. The thing I really wanted to talk about today is some new information that I have learned about how to keep your blood glucose levels level. So instead of spiking your blood sugar by eating carbohydrates and sugar and things like that, where it kind of ends up giving you a big rush but also a big dump and then more sugar cravings, how do you manage to keep them level? And I watched an amazing podcast recently, and I'll link it below, from the Glucose Goddess, and I follow her on Instagram now, and she's got some really cool stuff on there. And she gave some really amazing tips and tricks. I think she has a whole book, but I just watched this one particular podcast, and I wanted to share with you some of the little tips that I started following. And I don't know if they have made a huge difference yet, but according to her graphs and charts, it does make a difference. So I thought I would give you guys the heads up. But before I do that, I wanted to give you the results of the poll that I recently did. So I put out a poll under my community tab on my channel, and basically there were a few posts asking you guys what you want to see in up and coming workouts. There were things like, what duration do you like? Do you prefer shorter workouts or do you prefer longer ones? What do you prefer in terms of mat workouts, standing, combination? Then what sort of equipment would you like to see? There was a choice of ankle weights, bands, the ball, or even a combination of equipment. And I think that was the only 3 that I put on. I'm sure there was something else. Duration. Oh yeah, and would you prefer body part specific workouts or total body workouts? So these are the results that I'm going to use. I mean, people might still add to them, but it's kind of been a while now, so I think it's going to be pretty much settled at this. The winner for the equipment was hands down ankle weights, and next was combination of equipment. So ankle weights are really great mainly for lower body and abs, but not so great for upper body. So I will be doing an ankle weight series, which is total body. And the reason for that is because total body definitely won over body part specific. So total body ankle weight workouts, also using light dumbbells and maybe a chair depending on what I decide to do with that. And definitely the standing and mat won over just mat or just standing, and mat workouts were next. So you know I love to do mat workouts, so there'll definitely be more of those, but we're going to do standing and mat ankle weight, total body workouts, and the winner hands down was for longer workouts. So we're going to do long, standing and mat, total body, ankle weight workouts, okay? And I will be mixing in a couple of other bits of equipment, but that's definitely the series that's going to come next after All About the Arms on my free YouTube workouts, on my free YouTube channel. And you will see also some new workouts for my membership site. There's lots of different ones, but after I finish actually I've already finished with the Total Mat series. The next ones coming are going to be Firm 15. So it's kind of not going with the poll for this, but it's 15-minute workouts that you can mix and match, and they're going to be more body part specific, but there might be a few 15-minute just total body ones so that you, if you're short on time, you can just fit one of those in. So there will be a compilation of all different types of workouts, mat workout, standing combination, different equipment. So Firm 15 is coming to the members exclusive site very soon, probably next week actually. And I've already started filming those, and they're very fun and lots of new combinations in there as well. So to the topic at hand, what I wanted to share with you was, how do you stop sugar cravings, and how do you stop those spikes in blood glucose, which equals either having energy and then an energy slump, or just no energy at all. It could be to do with insulin resistance. So when you dump a lot of sugar into your bloodstream, your body sometimes can have a hard time dealing with it. And if you get to that point that you become insulin resistant, and I'm not going to go into all the details today, then it can actually cause a lot of issues for you health-wise. So what you want to do, no matter what age you're at, is try to keep your blood glucose levels as level as possible. Because you just basically look at it like your body is like a machine, and each component runs perfectly when you treat it in the right way. But if you overload one component or one organ or one system in your body, it's going to struggle, and there will be repercussions to that. And most of the time it will be some sort of illness. And they have called insulin resistance type 3 diabetes. And they have noted that if you have insulin resistance and you've got this excess of glucose in your system constantly, that it will affect your organs, and it can even lead to dementia and Alzheimer's more commonly with people that have insulin resistance. So as I said, I'm not going to go into all the ins and outs of it because I don't want to boggle your mind. But the reason why I wanted to share these tips and tricks with you is because I really liked her approach. She was very realistic. Okay, so I talked about a lot of ideas for making tweaks to your nutrition in order to optimize your nutrition in a few of the videos previously, in Coffee Talks previously. And I said to you that for people that have been eating a certain way, maybe eating more processed food, will find it very difficult to make that jump straight away of just ditching their old diet and starting something brand new. And often when you do that, you end up falling off the bandwagon because it's just too extreme for your system. So you want to slowly start implementing healthier choices, which then eventually will end up as being that optimal nutrition and healthy lifestyle. So these tips and tricks are realistic. She doesn't say don't eat cake. She doesn't say don't eat sugar, which a lot of nutritionists do say. But she says do it in a smart way that will help your body to process it so that you don't cause an overload and you don't cause any medical issues or energy slumps and things like that. So a simple few suggestions that she gave was, number one, eat vegetables first. So this could mean eating a salad before you eat pasta, or it could mean if you have a plate of, say, vegetables, rice and chicken, that you eat the vegetables first. Now, it doesn't have to mean that you eat all of the vegetables, you just eat some vegetables first, because what happens is the vegetables become like a barrier of fiber that all the rest of the food has to pass through. So she used the analogy of, say, a kitchen sink. If you were to have debris in the sink, and then whatever you poured on into that sink, it would take a lot longer to trickle through the pipes. In the same way, fiber helps your body to slow the absorption of all of the nutrients that come after it. So it's like lining your body with this fiber, or your digestive system or your stomach with this fiber, so that when you do eat the rice or the carbohydrates, it doesn't hit your bloodstream so quickly, which doesn't give you that spike in blood glucose. It keeps it a little bit more level. So that was one trick. Another trick was having vinegar or acetic acid before a meal. And she said that reduces the blood glucose spike by 30%, which is crazy. So just having, say, if you like apple cider vinegar, a glass of water with some apple cider vinegar in it, drinking that before you eat carbohydrates or before you eat sugars, then that will reduce that insulin resistance, or it will reduce that blood glucose spike. Okay, so I don't like apple cider vinegar. I think it's disgusting, and I've tried so many times. I've tried in so many different ways, and I've just decided it's just not for me. But I do like white vinegar. So what I've been doing is hitting those two tips in one go by making a small salad, putting a dressing on there that has white vinegar in it, eating that to line my stomach before I eat my carbohydrates and sugars. I've even been doing that, and it sounds a bit odd, before eating fruit, before eating something sweet. So, I mean, you don't always want to do that. You don't always feel like eating, say for breakfast you want to have some fruit, maybe a fruit salad with yogurt or something like that. You kind of feel weird eating salad before that. But I found that if I just have a little bit, I'm not eating a whole salad, I'm just eating a few spoonfuls, that's enough to do that whole lining situation. And the other thing I've been eating a lot of is olives that have been marinated in some sort of vinegar marinade. So they're a bit sour. So I've been eating them, and I love olives. So I just pop a few of them, and then I eat whatever I'm going to eat with the carbohydrates in it. Now, the other thing she said was to dress your carbs. So back in the day, and I wish I could ask her these questions because I did have quite a few questions from what she said. Back in the day, there used to be the whole GI, glycemic index of foods. And I do feel like that still makes a difference. So if you are eating a food that's very high on the glycemic index, or it spikes your blood sugar level a lot, then eating that or coupling it with another food that is very low will obviously reduce the overall spike. So when you're eating ice cream, or when you're eating, say, cake, rather than just eating the sugar, make sure it's something that has maybe some fat or some protein. So you're better off eating, for example, cheesecake, which is much higher in protein, than you are to eat just a sponge cake, which hasn't got much fat. It's mainly sugar and flour, which is all carbohydrate. So making little tweaks, or even she said dressing your carbs. So if you're gonna eat potatoes, instead of just having potato, maybe you want to add some butter onto it. Maybe you want to add, I don't know what you can do with potatoes, maybe some mayonnaise or something to basically make it less glucose spiking. So if you have the potato by itself, it might be a spike that looks like this on a graph, or if you have it with some fat, or even have it with protein, then it might be a much lower spike. And that's what she's saying. And when you look on her Instagram, you can see all of these different graphs and the different spikes. It's actually a really informative Instagram profile to have a look at. The other thing she said was to move after you eat carbohydrates. So she said even 10 minutes of some form of movement. It doesn't even have to be exercise. It might be going for a walk, which I guess would be ideal. But even if you're washing dishes, even if you're vacuuming, or you're doing something, tidying up a bit, you're moving your body. Because often after a big meal, we have a tendency to just sit down and vegetate on the couch. But that is definitely not the best thing. So if you eat something that's got sugars in it, and then you move for, say, 10 minutes, and she gave the analogy of 3 songs, dancing to 3 songs, that's enough. It reduces the blood glucose spike significantly, like majorly. If you look at her graphs again on her Instagram, you'll see what I mean. It's crazy. She also said if you are going to eat cake, because of all the principles we've talked about, eat the cake after the meal. So people will often kind of think when I'm eating treats, oh, it's such a fatty food, or it's so high in calories, I'm just going to eat that instead of dinner. But that's actually worse, because now people are realizing it's not just about calories in and calories out. We are so much more complex than that. So it's very much to do with hormones, and it's very much to do with how your system handles glucose. So you might be thinking, oh my goodness, if I eat a small meal and the cake, that's going to be X amount of extra calories, but the blood glucose spike is going to be so much lower than if you just ate the cake. And that is actually better for you and is going to help you not have cravings for more cake. Okay, so that's the other hidden side of all of this. Not only will you keep your energy levels more stable, and you will find that over time you will be less likely to develop certain diseases, but you're also going to be able to stop those cravings, because cravings generally happen when you eat sugar and you get that big spike and then the big dump, and then you're feeling tired, and then your body thinks, I need more sugar in order to get the energy. And that's when you end up wanting more cake. And if you've got the whole cake sitting in the fridge, we've all been there, right? Slice after slice. So follow these tips and it will help you with that. Now, the other thing she said was try not to eat a sweet breakfast. I mean, I still do. And the other thing I wanted to mention is exercise plays a big role in this whole picture. Now, obviously, if you are about to exercise, you can eat something sweet and then exercise, say, in the next, she says, 1.5 hours, and you will burn all that sugar that's in your bloodstream. So I still would eat something sweet if I know I'm going to go for a walk or film a workout or exercise afterwards. I personally also think it's okay, and like, I'm not a dietitian or anything, but it just makes sense to me that if you wanted to eat something sweet after you exercise, okay? So I do a workout on an empty stomach. Personally, for me, in the mornings, that's the way I have the most amount of energy. I have found that if I eat before, even if it's an hour before, the digestive process interferes with my workout. So pretty much I have a coffee, and then I don't eat anything, and then I do my workout and I have breakfast afterwards. I still feel like, because of the intensity and duration of my workouts, that I would deplete my glycogen stores significantly, so that's the glucose stored in your muscles, significantly to warrant me eating something sweet afterwards. Now, do I still have to move straight afterwards even though I've just done a 2-hour workout? Yeah, probably, but I don't really sit still that much anyway, so I'm probably still going to be doing other things around the house at that time. But I wouldn't feel the need to actually go and do 10 minutes of dedicated exercise, because I've literally just depleted all my glucose stores. And even if that glucose that's in my bloodstream ends up back in my muscles, then that's fine, and I don't think I would be overloading. Of course, I'm not going to be eating a piece of cake for breakfast. I'll be having some fruit, something that's got much less sugar content than a really dense sugar-filled item like cake or ice cream or something like that. So for most people, I would say try not to have a sugary breakfast or a sweet breakfast even. And she says fruit will still spike your blood sugar levels just as much. It has got a bit more fiber, but there is a lot of sugar in the fruits that we have available to us in today's day and age compared to back in the day. So even if you have fruit for breakfast, it's still not as good an idea as, for example, having avocado and eggs, or having some sort of savory breakfast. I'm not very good with ideas for that, unfortunately. So she said no sweet breakfast, and then the last two things. One was try to stop eating 3 hours before bedtime, because then you don't have all of those digestive processes going on while you're trying to sleep, and you definitely don't want to eat and then go to bed, because that is all going to get converted into fat basically, and you're not going to be moving to kind of burn the blood sugar, the sugar in your blood. And then she also said the whole idea of eating 6 small meals rather than 3 is a myth, and it's actually terrible, because then you're constantly eating and you constantly have sugar in your body. So imagine if you ate 6 small meals, and before every meal you have to eat the vegetables and the vinegar. After every meal you have to move for at least 10 minutes. You'd literally be kind of like, you know what I mean? Like it would be hard to do. So you don't need to eat 6 small meals. If you're eating the right foods in the right order, following these tips, then you're not going to get those cravings, and you're not going to get those slumps in blood sugar and drops in energy that's going to make you want to reach for that snack. So eat those meals, have decent sized portions, eat it in the right order, and it will definitely help. So this obviously does not take into account nutrition in terms of what we talked about in the last few coffee talks. So head on over to the last coffee talk I did about optimizing nutrition, and that will give you more of an idea of what to eat. This is an idea of how to eat it, okay? So I'm going to link below, and you can watch the podcast yourself. It was super informative, and as I said, it was just realistic. You're going to eat cake. You're going to eat ice cream. You're going to want something sweet every now and then. You're not a robot. You can't be perfect all the time. So these tips are something that anyone can implement, and I really feel like it's a realistic approach. And then as you start to do this and you start to feel better and you start not to have those cravings, then you can implement maybe eating less of the processed foods, eating less of the snacks and the cakes and the sweet things. It will give you a kick start, and it's going to help you on your journey to better health in the long run. So I hope you enjoyed this coffee talk, and if you have any questions about anything I said, please leave comments below or just DM me on one of my social media accounts. All of them links are in the description below. And I hope you can implement some of these tips. I've been able to do it pretty easily. I mean, I didn't really take long to get into the flow of it. Sometimes I forgot, but most of the time I remembered, like, oh yeah, quick, eat some olives before I eat this piece of fruit or whatever it is. So it's not that hard to do. It's definitely doable. But let me know how you go. Definitely, if you tried this, or if you have tried this, if you've heard about this, let me know. If you have any other tips that other people can benefit from, that I can benefit from, please leave it in the comments as well. So I hope it was good. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Make sure you subscribe. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. 50% of my viewers don't subscribe, and it really helps me out with my overall status of the channel. And the funny thing is, the more subscribers you have, the more people subscribe, so it's one of those things. So please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you very soon with another coffee talk, and definitely see you even sooner with another workout. Bye for now.